Hey everybody, here this is Robert Garcia, your host today. For those that don't know me, I'm a real estate agent here in the state of Maryland and District of Columbia. I am associated with the Eric Stewart Group of Long and Foster. So, um, real estate, right? It's kind of like the biggest thing here that everybody's talking about. And one of the things that a lot of people are asking me, is this the worst time to be buying a house? Is this the worst time to be a buyer in 2022? And I don't know that I want to say it's the worst time. I think back in '08, it was kind of rough too. I think right now, what we have to keep in mind is that the market is having different changes, it's fluctuations, if you want to put it that way. And it's just really hard to know if the market will take us somewhere in the near future. But let me kind of like give you a couple things that I need you to consider. There is a recent data that just came out from the chief economist for Redfin. His name is Daryl Fairweather. And I'm going to read exactly what it says. It seems as though the ratio of buyers to sellers remained mostly the same, which is why we have yet to see a substantial drop in bidding wars or the share of homes selling quickly. This is still early days, though, when it comes to 5% mortgage rates. The number of buyers willing to pay such high mortgage payments could evaporate by late summer of 2022. That's huge. That's important to understand that if you are on the seller side, you have to expedite the process of selling your home. And if you are on the buy side, should you wait or should you buy now, right? And what happens if you wait? How high the interest rates can go between now and the end of summer. You're talking about 60 to 90 days between now and then. So there's a couple things here that you really have to keep in mind. So I'm going to give you a couple points for you to consider. Number one, as of right now, as of today, the market continues to be pretty much the same. I will admit has to be a diminish of a number of offers that houses are receiving, a number of, according to Showing Time, which is the biggest showing company that schedule appointments in the whole United States and Canada. They recently said that the showings actually have dropped significantly from last year, 17% the same time around. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. And of course, now interest rates are going to make things a little bit more expensive for everybody. Just to give you an idea, if you were thinking about to buy a house around $450,000 last October, you probably were looking at a 3.25 interest rate. If you were to be buying the same property, borrowing the same amount of money right now, you will probably see a monthly payment of around 280 to $340 more, depending on the interest rate and your credit score. That's huge. That's big. That's in an environment with gasoline, food, the cost of living has been going up. So that's important for everybody to keep in mind, that this is not to take lightly. So bidding wars are going to continue, but I don't think there's going to be as crazy as they used to be. It's going to feel more like a regular spring season. I have seen some other agents from other brokerage, even my own brokerage, that are already sending emails saying that they have made price adjustments to certain property. So think about that. So maybe we already reached the peak and now things are coming down slightly, and that's something that we need to take into consideration. So it's still going to be a great market for sellers. Okay, that's my point too. Great market for sellers, but you got to be very careful how you're going to be pricing your property. You should not be super aggressive, especially in an environment where things are going up in price. Just to give you an idea, back in probably late February of this year, in Montgomery County, that's the county where they primarily do business, the number of homes for sale and coming soon was about 680 properties. That was back then. So very small amount of homes for sale. probably the same amount of buyers looking for homes, but less inventory. So that was something that people were really thinking that it was, it's going to have an impact down the road. As of last week, the same number of criteria for sale already on the market and coming soon, it was around 1,050 homes. The absorption continues to be great because there's some homes that come on the market and boom, they just get a contract and they're under contract and they're no longer available. So you have to subtract that property from what's available or coming soon. But now it's in the thousands. So think about if this would have continued to be, let's say, an average of 200 homes per week. So in the next 8 weeks, so we will have what, 1,600 homes that will come on the market. And if the number of buyers are not absorbing the same number of homes at the same speed, you very easily can have inventory probably in the 2,000 homes, which is probably close to 3 months of absorption, meaning it will take 3 months for a property to go under contract and then be sold. So you got to be thinking about it's really what it's coming to that point. Now, builders builders are continuing to build homes that actually they cannot keep up with the demand for a couple of reasons. One is the cost of building homes is more expensive. Two, they have to deal with shortage of supply and materials, lumber, I mean, you name it, all those things. So there's definitely is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster for builders, but reality is that we still have a very healthy market right now, and I think some builders are still going to produce homes. Now, let's get to the buyers. What our buyers are going to be forced to do? There are going to be a couple things. And before I give you the details of what buyers that were forced to do me a favor, like and subscribe. I promise every week, great content is going to come. Short, precise, good videos. My last point here talking about buyers and their options. There's going to be a segment of the buyers that are probably going to have to exit the market. They're going to have to say goodbye to purchasing a house, and they're going to have to renew their leases or go back to get a new lease and renegotiate. And by the way, the rental market is also very aggressive and very expensive. So it's not going to be an easy thing for some people to find a house to rent right away at an affordable price. You're probably paying a little bit more. There's going to be another portion of buyers that are going to be okay. They have great finances, great salary, good assets. They're going to be able to put that money down, try to buy some points down if they need to, and then get into that house they always wanted, maybe their forever home or a transitional house that will be fine. There's also going to be the type of buyer that is they know it's a transitional, right? Meaning that they know in 5 7 years they know not going to be in that property, so they will probably consider like an adjustable rate mortgage or arms, a 5-1 arm, 7-1 arm, 10-1 arm, or something along those lines. Here is where it gets a little bit tricky. There's also going to be buyers that are going to use the arms, but not necessarily because they are in a transitional home, meaning this is not their forever home. There are going to be some buyers that are going to use that just to qualify, meaning that if you do an arm, a 7-1 arm, so it's for 7 years, you only pay interest, no principal, but you also are able to get a lower interest rate, so that it allows you to borrow a little bit more money so that you can afford to purchase a house that it's kind of like in the prices that we have going on right now. That's the crucial and the most concerning type of buyer. And there's going to be some buyers that are going to do it. They're going to say, F it. I don't want to pay any more in mortgage. I don't want to have to, I'm sorry, in rent. I don't want to be renting up my property. I really want to buy a house right now, and I'll do whatever it takes. So back in 05, 07, '06, a lot of people did stated income properties, meaning that they said we make $500,000, and the banks will say, okay, that's what you make. We'll take it. So that's the buyer that is going to be the most concerning to me, meaning that that buyer is going to risk a lot and it's going to be crazy. Glenn Bernker is the president of Ally Homes, an online mortgage lender, recently came into an article that says, "Don't rush into a panic situation." And I'm going to quote this. It says, "A spring 2022 home buying season will be the busy one." Brunker says, "Healthy demand from homes and continued housing inventory shortages are likely to continue to drive the market." It's in line with what I just told you. At the same time, it shouldn't be as a heated as peak frenzy of 2021. The rate of homes price appreciation is expected to taper off. Instead of 20% price growth we had in 2021, we may see home appreciation in the single digits. So, 7, 8, 9%, which historically it's a very, very good and is considered a strong year. So that's what it says. Like, there's will be appreciation. There still will be good demand. There's still going to be some competition, but don't expect to be the craziness that we saw in 2021. And also, don't be afraid. There's no fear of missing out. You're not missing anything. Okay. Always tell people, buy a house for you to live in the property, but always see with an eyes on investor. Why? Because investors, yes, they may get attached to a property, but at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, meaning that they will see these transaction with how much money I'm going to get back at the end of the day. Same thing should be for buyers. You should always consider your home as an investment, and you want to buy something that is going to have a great return on investment, right? You're not going to have something that's going to give you negative investment. So do not panic. It's not the end of the world. Interest rates are probably necessary to go up. Our grandparents probably pay interest rates in like 15 to 20%. So that you're going to have 5.5 to 6.5 to 7% is not the end of the world. Remember, I'm not a CPA, but a portion of the interest rates you pay and taxes on your mortgage are also tax deductible. So that maybe there's going to be a little bit of a benefit into paying a little bit of a higher mortgage. We all wanted to pay the lowest price available. I get it. That's not something that I want to prohibit you, but do your homework. Don't act on fear of missing out, and always treat your property as a solid investment. Do not be emotional. Believe me, I've seen too many people make huge mistakes because they treat the purchase of a home too emotional. Be smart about it. Always, always, always interview 2 to 3 realtors just to make sure that you're getting the same version. Some people might give you something different. You want to know why they're telling you something is different. Always interview 3 realtors. Always speak with 2 or 3 lenders at the same time. Don't talk to the big banks. They don't not going to treat you well. They're very conservative, especially in this type of market. They're going to be extremely conservative. So you want to have people that are going to be more aggressive. Mortgage brokers are the way to go. They actually have better programs, better loans, access to more banks, and are more aggressive when it comes to these. And try to do a home inspection. Please try to do a home inspection. Even if it is a pre-inspection, highly recommend you do those things. From the bottom of my heart, just want to say goodbye to everybody. I know that Mother's Day is today. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there in the world. Have a great time, great day. Have a good weekend. God bless. Take care. Bye bye.